The groom suddenly picked up a plate full of food and hurled it onto the floor, causing the sauce to splatter dramatically across the carpet.
My bad, my bad. Slipped right out of my hand.
He was looking down at me and laughing heartily, announcing to everyone,
This buddy of mine sitting right here is a cleaner. He's used to handling messes, so let's leave it to him. Can you take care of this, Mr. Cleaner?
When I refused it, the bride stood in front of me, blocking my way.
My husband said, "You're the scum of society. Don't you dare talk back to an elite like that."
Then, my wife appeared out of nowhere and tapped the bride on the shoulder from behind. With a beaming smile, she declared,
I'll ask my dad to erase the groom's seat at work.
Right after these words, the bride and groom were faced with a shocking reality, causing them to collapse to their knees. My name is Brian Smith, 26 years old. I lost my parents in an accident during my sophomore year of college. Drowning in grief, I dropped out of college and was despairing over life until someone's support helped me recover. Now, I'm working as a cleaner. I married Emily, a peer of mine, who graduated from a top university and worked at a major bank when I was 25. She was a corporate sales representative at her branch, known for her agility that matched any man's and her meticulous work that leveraged her femininity, steadily improving her sales record, and even being whispered about as a future female executive.
I dream of working at the heart of the U.S. economy.
She would say with sparkling eyes. During our dating days, I always wondered if someone like me, mismatched in education and job, could truly make her happy. But Emily would just laugh off such concerns. I still remember as if it was yesterday, the day she tearfully accepted my proposal. Even she had her weaknesses, though.
Well, let's see.
Emily said so, staring at me from across the table as I ate. Emily had come home early from work for the first time and put her all into making dinner after watching a recipe video. The cream pasta she made, to be honest, wasn't great. The pasta was overcooked, the sauce was bland, and the broccoli was still hard. But for me, it wasn't about the taste. I was just happy that she tried so hard. Yay, it's delicious, I said, trying to eat as much as I could without her noticing. However, Emily propped her cheek in her hand with a disappointed look.
Brian, your nose expands when you lie.
I instinctively covered my nose with my hand.
Why? I followed the recipe exactly.
I couldn't help but laugh as I watched her cradle her head in despair.
That's awful. Laughing at me.
Emily puffed up her cheeks and glared at me. Oh, I am sorry. I just thought you looked so cute. You're good at your job and manage everything so smoothly, but it seems like cooking is your only weak spot. She crossed her arms and looked at me sternly, as if analyzing herself after I said that.
You know, my parents are divorced, right? My mom took me in but was too busy with work and did not cook much. We mostly had takeout or ate out, so I was never interested in cooking. So, you see, it's all my dad's fault that I can't cook.
I looked at my pouting wife and asked her something I had always wondered about. Hey, have you ever seen your dad?
I met him once when I joined the bank. We talk on the phone a few times a year.
It's better to see him when you can. You never know when you might suddenly never get the chance again. I was reminiscing about my deceased parents.
Brian.
Emily said, I'll think about it. She placed her hand on mine on the table. That day, I was at work, tasked with cleaning the exterior walls of a certain office building. It had been a while since I was paired with Ken, a 45-year-old senior coworker. Ken was a senior cleaner holding a cleaning technician certification. He was the person the president trusted the most. Our job for the day involved rope access work, performed by dangling from the roof. We call it swing work, since we sat on a swing-like setup to do the job. I'm not particularly afraid of heights, but the work was nerve-wracking since one mistake could lead to an accident.
Brian, remember to check the equipment. The president has specifically asked me to make sure you don't get into any accidents. We can't have Emily becoming a young widow.
Yes, sir. Taking Ken's words to heart, I carefully went about my tasks, one by one. After 5 hours of work, we had safely completed all our tasks. I was putting away the pylons and ropes we used to mark off the work area. Suddenly, someone called my name.
Brian?
Surprised, I turned around to find Tom Brown, who was in the same seminar as me in college. "Oh, Tom," I exclaimed, surprised, and took off my helmet. Tom looked me up and down and sneered as he said,
Really? You dropped out of college to become a cleaner. That's pretty bad, man.
Tom had always been like this. He always judged people based on their appearance, job, and income. He decided how to interact with someone based on whether there was any benefit for him. I wasn't surprised, but he was still as unlikable as ever. "What are you doing for work now?" I asked him in disgust as I bundled the rope.
Me? Oh, nothing much. Just a humble bank employee.
He said so, circling in front of me to straighten his suit collar and flaunt his company badge. I recognized that badge. That badge is the same as Emily's bank. Tom and Emily work at the same bank. I couldn't hide my dismay. Seeing my reaction, Tom smirked smugly. "Yay, it's a tough job. I've got to go now." I wanted to leave quickly, fearing further interaction with him might negatively impact Emily's work. Then Tom said,
Oh, yeah, I'm getting married next month. A lot of old college friends will be there, so you should definitely come to the reception. Everyone will be thrilled.
I spat in disgust internally, as if I'd attend your wedding reception. However, I decided to keep my cool, especially since he's Emily's coworker. Given I didn't know the nature of Tom and Emily's relationship, it seemed wise to keep things amicable for now. "Congratulations. I'd love to attend and celebrate, but..." Tom was grinning at me. He was expecting me to be ashamed of my background and feel out of place at an elite wedding, giving him a reason to mock me in front of others over drinks. "Fine, if that's how you want it, I'll proudly attend. There's nothing about my life I'm ashamed of." I had lost all semblance of calm. With a broad smile, I declared, "Absolutely, I'd be delighted to attend your wedding reception." Upon hearing my words, Tom appeared surprisingly shocked, his eyes sparkling as he looked at me. It was the gaze of a hyena that had spotted its prey. He smirked, a mischievous grin spreading across his face. Perhaps he had concocted some sort of entertainment plan to make a fool of me in front of the elite group attending the reception.
I'm thrilled. I'll send you an invite soon.
Tom said before leaving the scene. I watched his back as he walked away, already filled with regret. Later, I received an invitation to Tom's wedding reception.
No way. Brian, you know Tom Brown?
In the evening, as I was preparing dinner in the kitchen, Emily came home and exclaimed upon seeing the invitation addressed to me on the table amidst the mail. We were in the same seminar during college. He works at the same bank as you, Emily, and do you know him?
Know him? He's my peer, and he transferred to our branch at the same time as me. We're working together in corporate sales now, so look.
Emily said, pulling out her own invitation from her bag to show me. Are we both going to the same wedding reception? Learning that Tom and Emily were in the same branch and handled the same corporate sales, I regretted even more having accepted the invitation.
The world is really small, huh? To think Tom is a friend of yours, Brian. From now on, no matter how much it irritates me, I'll try not to push him away and work on building a better relationship.
Emily said with a reflective tone while eating dinner. What do you mean by that? I was curious and asked.
Well, actually,
Emily then shared with me her experiences between her and Tom. Tom, also in corporate sales, had a habit of looking down on others because of their family background or education, often belittling his colleagues and juniors. This attitude disrupted team cohesion, worsened the workplace atmosphere, and negatively impacted the work of those belittled. Emily, having top sales performance and graduating from a prestigious university, was not looked down upon. However, he told her blatantly that you use women as weapons, and he envied her. Moreover, Tom was known to grant aggressive loans to clients to meet sales quotas, and he shouted, "Don't overstep your bounds as a woman," when Emily subtly cautioned him once.
I'm sorry to say this about your friend, but he's the worst. That's why I decided to stay away from him.
He's not my friend, I said, slamming down my fork, unable to hide my anger. I couldn't hide my anger at Emily's story.
Huh? But I thought you were close enough to be invited to his wedding.
It's fine. That guy has been rotten since our college days. It's better if we just keep our distance from now on. I'm sorry for making you feel uncomfortable. I said it as if spitting it out.
Why are you apologizing, Brian?
Emily laughed, looking at me curiously. I usually don't show negative emotions in front of Emily, so she seemed a bit surprised too. Yeah, you're right. I hurriedly put on a smile to cover up, but I couldn't hide my agitation. I couldn't stand Tom's frivolous behavior, mocking with women, without knowing how Emily comes home exhausted to the point of being a run-out rag after working late every day. Emily isn't the kind of person to use her femininity as a weapon. Her sincerity, straightforward and everything, is something I know better than anyone. I met Emily 3 years ago, while cleaning the floors of a certain building. That building, housing several large corporations, was a large one with contracts for regular cleaning, in addition to daily maintenance. That day was for cleaning the floors of shared areas, like lobbies and corridors. Since it was a weekday midday task, the lobby was divided in half with caution tape to ensure a walkable area, and the work was done using a specialized machine. The work was progressing smoothly, and the dirty floors were quickly regaining their shine. I love this moment of looking back. Just a little more, let's push through. I muttered to myself to get pumped up. Then, a young male employee from some company, returning from outside, happened by. The moment he passed by me, he carelessly threw the trash bag he was carrying onto the floor where the detergent had been applied.
Throw that away too.
The man said. I picked it up and looked inside. It was lunch left over from a convenience store and an empty coffee can, probably from a break in some park during his rounds. Hey, wait. I called out to the man's back, but the young man walked away without turning back. I was furious, but I didn't want to cause trouble and risk losing the cleaning contract for the building, so I decided to bear it and go back to work. At that moment, a woman snatched the trash bag from my hand and ran after the man.
Please wait.
She shouted, dashing after the young man. I watched in astonishment.
You should clean up your own trash. Even kindergartners know that.
The woman said that, thrusting the trash bag back at the man who was waiting for the elevator. Reluctantly, the man took it and got into the elevator. The woman then ran back to me, smiling, and said,
I was a track athlete when I was a student.
I was instantly captivated by her carefree smile. It was love at first sight for me. And then, fumblingly, we exchanged contact information. It was the first time in my life something like this had happened. This was my encounter with Emily. Emily, full of a sense of justice, could see things straight. My wife is not someone to be trifled with by scum like Tom. I was only worried about protecting Emily from any more discomfort caused by Ethan. Should I cancel our attendance to Tom's event even now? But canceling at this point might inconvenience the other party. Tom probably doesn't know we're married, so acting like strangers at the reception might be best. We married while you were at the previous branch, so your coworkers wouldn't know me either. That's what I told Emily. I didn't want to burden her with any more worries, especially since she's already going through a tough time.
Why? Why would you want to hide something like that?
Emily looked puzzled. It's understandable since she doesn't know the situation. It's just to avoid any trouble. That's okay, right? Seeing my serious face, Emily reluctantly agreed. On the day of the wedding, Tom's reception was held at a top hotel in New York, attended by 500 guests, a large-scale event. Tom's bride was a 23-year-old woman named Marissa, apparently the daughter of a wealthy family that owns a chain of restaurants. There were VIPs present, likely business associates of the bride's father, along with influential figures from the city. I was seated at a table for friends of the groom. Emily, sitting at a table for bank associates a bit away, was keeping our promise to act like strangers. As soon as I took my seat at a table for 8, I received cold stares from Tom's entourage. Then, they smirked at me while conspicuously updating each other about their recent activities. The names of major corporations like big securities companies, construction firms, and trading companies were mentioned in the conversation. Among them, a man named Clint, sitting next to me, struck up a conversation.
It's been a while, Brian. It's been 6 years since you left college, right? What are you doing now?
Clint was the only decent guy to talk to here. Rumor has it, he started his own business while in college and now owns an IT company. Hi Clint, it's been a while. I'm now working in cleaning.
Hey, Clint, give it a rest, man.
Before I could finish, one of the guys cut me off.
Don't you feel sorry for him? A dropout living as a cleaner, trying to blend in with the elites. Just leave him be.
Then, the others smirked and laughed while looking at me.
Can't believe he had the nerve to show up. the disgrace of our college.
They said, loud enough for me to hear. Clint looked at me, puzzled, so I gestured back that I was okay. Even after the bride and groom entered and the reception started, the verbal attacks on me didn't stop. I was prepared for this, being Tom's friend, but I couldn't understand why they demeaned my job. Clint whispering, "Don't mind them," and smiling was the only consolation. This happened when the bride and groom came to our table during the candle service.
Brian, thank you for coming today. I'm glad you're here.
Tom said, smirking down at me. "Congratulations." I said that and nodded to the bride as well. The bride, Marissa, seemed young and pretty at first glance, but it felt like her beauty was masked with makeup. What bothered me more was her seemingly unintelligent way of speaking.
Damn, my arm is tired, Tom, do it by yourself.
Marissa puffed her cheeks like a child, saying that, with too much blush, she looked like she had mumps.
Marissa, honey, just a little longer. Okay, let's do our best.
Tom soothed her with a purring voice. While the others at the table exchanged looks and chuckled, I was holding back laughter too. Then Tom suddenly accused me, "Brian, you just laughed, didn't you?" with his devilish and pale face. No, not really. I wondered if my inner laughter had somehow leaked out without my notice. Then, Tom abruptly grabbed a plate of half-eaten food from in front of me and dumped it on the floor.
Yikes, no.
Marissa shrieked in a voice resembling a scream. The sauce splashes all over the expensive carpet on the floor.
My bad, slipped out of my hand.
Tom laughed mockingly while looking down at me. People from nearby tables turned their attention to us, wondering what was happening. A female staff member rushed over to clean up, but Tom stopped her, saying,
No worries, my friend sitting here is a cleaner, accustomed to dealing with dirty things. Let him handle it, please, Mr. Cleaner.
But we can't ask your guests to do that.
As the female staff hesitated, Marissa intervened, "Just do as Tom says," and dismissed the staff member. I was beyond angry, simply dumbfounded. Marissa looked at me with a mocking laugh, just like Tom. "You two are a match made in heaven, perfect for each other," I muttered to myself with a laugh.
What?
Tom's face turned sour as he confronted me. Ignoring him, I stood up and advised the staff member, "For first aid, please dampen a cloth with lukewarm water, soak it with a neutral detergent, and tap it to transfer the stain onto the cloth. It's best to get it cleaned by a professional as soon as possible." Then I turned to Tom, glaring, and said, "I'm a professional in cleaning. If you want me to clean for you, come to my company and make a formal request." I threw a napkin onto the chair and was about to leave. Then Marissa blocked my way.
My husband called you social trash. Don't think you can defy an elite being trash yourself.
I gazed at her, marveling at how different she was from Emily, completely different creature. Then I noticed Emily standing behind the bride. Emily. Surprised, I watched as Emily gently tapped the bride's shoulder and announced with a bright smile,
I'll ask my dad to erase the groom's seat at work.
Marissa shook off her hand, bewildered. What are you talking about? That's impossible. And who are you?"
Emily, what's wrong with you? Are you drunk? Save your sleep talk for bed. Keep out if it's none of your business.
Tom tried to push Emily aside. I instinctively blocked his hand, stepping forward to protect Emily. Emily's maiden name was Wilson, and she used it professionally. Her real father, the bank branch manager, suddenly appeared with a laugh, tension instantly filling the air.
The sense of justice you have is truly your father's, Miss Emily.
The branch manager. I apologize for showing you such an unsightly scene.
The manager, looking at Emily with a sense of regret, added,
I know you're busy, but try to call your dad sometimes. He seemed lonely when I saw him at the headquarters recently.
Yes, I will.
Emily said, looking embarrassed.
The branch manager, to have you here today.
Tom, flustered, tried to step forward, pushing me aside, but the manager ignored him and spoke to me.
Oh, Brian, it's been a while. How is the President Carol doing?
What?
Tom stared at me, dumbfounded. Sorry for the late greeting, branch manager. My aunt is as energetic as ever, working hard every day. The manager nodded with a smile.
I heard she's launching a new welfare-related business. She's thrilled to have you as her successor. It gives her work more purpose.
Tom and Marissa looked at us bewilderedly.
The branch manager is Emily's father.
This person isn't just a cleaner.
The branch manager said with an exasperated look.
What, you didn't know? Her father is Mr. Wilson, the head of the HR department. This man, Brian Smith, is the nephew of the president of Smith Corporation, which owns many subsidiaries related to cleaning services, and he's the next president. He's also Emily's husband.
What? The head of HR, the next president, and her husband.
Tom turned pale and staggered backward in panic. Marissa looked equally flustered.
But he was wearing a work uniform, cleaning the building.
When Tom pointed at me, the branch manager looked at me admiringly and said,
The president's policy is that executives involved in management must undergo several years of field training. Understanding the field's hardships is considered crucial for managing the company. It's truly a remarkable company.
Then, turning to Tom, he continued,
Smith Corporation is a significant client for our branch. If this incident leads to a cessation of business, you will undoubtedly be put out. And if you've also made a bad impression on the head of HR, there's no saving you. Well, try your best with your lovely bride wherever you go.
With a laugh, stating he had another appointment, the branch manager excused himself.
Branch manager, wait.
Tom and Marissa timidly turned back to us.
Well, Brian and Emily.
Tom forced an awkward smile, looking back and forth between us. Sorry, Tom, but we'll be taking our leave now. As the next president, I need to discuss changing our main bank with our president. I said, and Emily added.
I also have to hurry and call my dad.
Tom clings to us desperately.
Come on, Emily. Please, Brian, aren't you my friend?
We are friends, no way. Don't make me laugh. I brush off Tom's hand and say, You're done for. Tom collapses to his knees, crestfallen. Emily and I leave together, walking away from the scene. As we open the doors to leave the venue, we heard Marissa's screams behind us.
What? You're getting fired from the bank? This is no joke. Call off the wedding right now. I refuse to marry a man like this. Daddy, do something.
The venue starts buzzing with noise.
What? What are you talking about? I wouldn't want a foolish woman like you even if you begged.
Excuse me.
Emily and I hear this, look at each other, and share a laugh. We took a taxi from the hotel, got off at a convenience store near our house, and bought sandwiches and beer. Instead of the missed full-course French meal, we walked leisurely home, bathed in the sunset, feeling as if we were on a date for the first time in a while. Are you okay with how things turned out? Everyone at your bank found out about your father. I asked Emily this question midway across a bridge over a small river.
I grew up seeing my mother struggle after their divorce, never forgiving my father for being a workaholic and neglecting his family. That's why I've been working myself to death, choosing a general career position, even when they said it was impossible for a woman, thinking I wouldn't lose to men, to my father.
She said so with distant eyes. Then she continued,
But working at the same bank as my father, I finally understood my father's struggles. He must have had a hard time, too. So I hope to build a good relationship with my father from now on.
Emily leaned on the railing, looking at the river shimmering in the sunset. Then she turned to me.
I can think this way because of you, for always being there to support me gently. Thank you, Brian.
Emily's smile, tinged with the color of the setting sun, made me blush a bit. Then let's have dinner with your dad sometime. Emily nods happily at my suggestion. Some days later, according to what Emily told me, Tom's wedding reception turned out to be a complete disaster. It wasn't just the bride and groom. A massive fight broke out involving their parents and relatives, who had been against the marriage from the start. Naturally, the reception was called off, and the couple split up soon after, leading to the collapse of their relationship. As for Tom, he was later transferred to an affiliate of the bank. It's said he's completely off the track for promotion now. Ever since that incident, Tom seems to have become a much quieter person, but can people really change that quickly? I bet it won't be long before his true colors show again. A few years later, Emily was transferred back to the headquarters, where she thrived in the HR department's career group, organizing external training and programs to support the advancement of female employees. She was also pouring her efforts into creating a workplace environment where women could balance work and child-rearing, becoming a focal point for the media as a female executive. As for me, after completing my field training, I was under the president's wing, receiving formal education as his successor.
You're really starting to look the part in a suit. I wish my brother and sister-in-law could see you now.
Wearing an unfamiliar suit, I spent my days accompanying the president on visits to clients. Occasionally, he would say something like that and become teary-eyed. One evening, on my way home, I found myself watching the sunset from the usual bridge. Lately, I've been feeling especially grateful for having a fulfilling job. I wish I could tell my younger self, who had dropped out of college and was despairing over life after the sudden loss of my parents. Your future is very happy.
Brian?
I heard someone call my name, and I turned around to see Emily, walking towards me with a smile, waving her hand. Welcome back. You're home early today, aren't you? Emily approached me with a slight blush and said,
Today, I left work early and went to the doctor.
What? Are you feeling all right? I asked in surprise. Emily didn't answer directly, but with a big smile, took an ultrasound picture out of her bag. She then covered half of her face with it and looked at me with teary eyes.
I'm 3 months pregnant.
Overwhelmed with joy, I instinctively hugged Emily.
We're going to be parents.
Emily said with tears in her voice. Oh, how I wish I could tell my past self. I am incredibly happy right now.